Liam stared out of the small viewport of his scout ship as it drifted toward the uncharted planet. From space, the world looked peaceful, a swirl of green forests and sparkling blue oceans. Yet there was something unusual in the patterns on its surface and arrangement that suggested intelligent life. As a human explorer, he had seen many strange worlds, but there was always a thrill in discovering something new. Today, the thrill felt sharper, almost like the planet itself was calling him. He adjusted the ship's controls, descending slowly through the upper atmosphere. The sensors had detected a large structure hidden within a dense forest. It appeared artificial, with geometric lines that no natural formation could produce. Liam's curiosity grew. He had spent years exploring distant planets, studying alien cultures, and helping in humanitarian missions. But there was something different about this place. It seemed alive in a way he couldn't explain as he landed. The forest greeted him with an almost magical glow. The leaves shimmered faintly, reflecting the planet's twin suns, and the air felt thick with energy. Liam grabbed his explorer pack and stepped out, feeling the soft moss under his boots. The temperature was perfect, not too hot, not too cold, and the smell of the forest was sweet and earthy. He checked his scanner again. The signal from the structure was strong, almost like it wanted him to come closer, moving cautiously. Liam followed the faint path that led to the structure. It was enormous, unlike anything he had seen. Towers rose high above the treetops, and smooth walls shimmered faintly under the sunlight. Despite its size, there was an elegance to it, a harmony that suggested not just intelligence, but care and artistry. As he approached, he noticed strange symbols etched into the walls. They pulsed faintly, almost like they were breathing. Liam had studied many alien languages, but these symbols were unlike any he had encountered. Still, there was a pattern, and he instinctively felt he could figure it out. The entrance to the structure opened with a soft hum as he neared it. He stepped inside, and the world changed immediately. The interior was vast, almost cathedral-like, with walls that glowed softly in shades of blue and green. The air smelled faintly sweet, and it carried a subtle vibration that seemed to resonate with his heartbeat. Liam took a deep breath, feeling both awe and excitement. He had entered many alien buildings before, but this one was different. It felt alive. He moved carefully, scanning the corridors with his portable device. It confirmed that the structure was not abandoned. Life signs were present, though faint and hidden. Liam's curiosity grew. Why would a civilization build something so magnificent and then leave it largely empty? He followed the faint signals deeper into the structure, passing chambers filled with alien technology he barely understood. Floating orbs hovered silently, projecting holographic maps that shifted as he passed. Each step felt like stepping further into a puzzle. Finally, he reached a large chamber at the heart of the structure. A soft light filled the room, and there, suspended in a glowing field, was a figure. Liam's breath caught. It was a being unlike any he had ever seen. Delicate features, luminous eyes, and an aura that seemed to shimmer with inner light. She was clearly intelligent, and there was an elegance in her posture that suggested royalty. As he approached, he realized she was not just resting. She was trapped. The glowing field wasn't natural. It was a kind of containment, holding her suspended in the air. The being noticed him immediately. Her eyes widened, not in fear, but in surprise and relief. Liam stepped closer, studying the field. His knowledge of alien technology was extensive, and he quickly realized that the containment field was powered by an energy source that responded to mental commands. With careful focus, he began to manipulate the controls, adjusting frequencies and energy flows. The process was delicate, and he felt a thrill of excitement at the challenge. Minutes passed, though it felt like hours. Slowly, the field weakened, its glow fading as Liam worked. Finally, with a soft hum, the energy dissipated completely. The being floated gently to the ground, her feet touching the floor lightly. Liam stepped back, giving her space. She looked at him with gratitude and curiosity. "Thank you," she said, her voice musical and clear. "I thought no one would come." Liam smiled. "I couldn't just leave you here. My name is Liam. I come from a planet called Earth. Who? Who are you? I am Alira, she replied, her eyes studying him carefully. I am a princess of this world. I was trapped by my own people. Her tone carried a mixture of sadness and dignity. There are complications in our society. I cannot explain everything now, but you have freed me from a great burden. Liam nodded, unsure what to say. He had encountered many alien species, some friendly, some not. But there was something in Alira's presence that made him instinctively trust her. I'm glad I could help, he said. We should leave this place before anyone notices. She smiled faintly. Yes, but leaving will not be simple. My people are careful. They do not take kindly to escapees, even those who are not malicious. Then we will be careful, Liam said, adjusting his pack. I've had experience navigating difficult situations. I'm sure we can figure it out. They moved together through the corridors, Alira guiding him silently. She explained that the containment chamber was meant as a safeguard, not a punishment, though it had felt isolating. My people have rules, she said softly. Rules that sometimes even I do not fully understand. But today, you have shown a quality they rarely see in outsiders. You are clever, patient, and compassionate. Liam felt a warmth in his chest at her words. Humanity was often underestimated in the galaxy, and here was proof that human ingenuity could make a difference. As they exited the structure and stepped into the forest, the twin suns bathed them in golden light. Liam felt a sense of accomplishment and excitement. This was the beginning of something new, an adventure unlike any he had faced before. They traveled through the forest carefully, Alira pointing out hidden paths and secret routes. The forest seemed alive, and Liam noticed subtle signs of wildlife watching them silently. Birds with translucent wings, creatures with glowing eyes, and plants that shifted slightly as they passed tall of it hinted at a world that was vibrant and intelligent in ways humans had not yet imagined. As night fell, the forest transformed. The glow from the plants illuminated their path, creating a soft, magical light. Alira led Liam to a small clearing with a gentle stream. This is a safe place for now, she said. We can rest here and plan our next steps. My people will search for me, but they will not expect anyone from another world to be involved. Liam nodded, feeling a mixture of relief and curiosity. He had freed the princess, but he knew their journey was far from over. We'll figure it out together, he said. I'm not going anywhere. As they sat by the stream, Alira shared fragments of her story. She spoke of her world's beauty, its complex society, and the challenges she faced as a princess. She did not speak of conflict or danger. Instead, she spoke of responsibility, wisdom, and the importance of understanding. Liam listened intently, feeling a deep respect for her. In turn, Liam shared stories of Earth, of human achievements and struggles, of the ways humanity had learned to adapt and survive. Alira listened with fascination, her eyes reflecting the light of the stars above. In that quiet moment, across the vast distances of space and the differences of their worlds, a connection was formed, a bond of trust and mutual respect. As the night deepened, Liam realized that this mission, which had begun as a simple exploration, had transformed into something much greater. He had come to an alien world seeking knowledge. He had found friendship, purpose, and a chance to make a meaningful impact. Alira's presence was a reminder that the universe was full of surprises, and that sometimes the right actions guided by compassion and intelligence could change everything. For the first time in his life, Liam felt a sense of destiny. He had freed a princess, and in doing so, he had stepped into a story that was far larger than himself. And though he did not yet understand all the challenges ahead, he was ready to face them. Together, he and Alira would navigate the mysteries of her world, discovering not only the wonders of the planet, but also the extraordinary potential of human ingenuity in the vast universe. The stars above seemed to shine brighter that night, as if welcoming them to a new chapter of adventure, discovery, and friendship. Liam smiled, feeling a thrill he had never known. This was only the beginning. The first rays of dawn filtered through the glowing forest, casting a soft golden light across the mossy ground. Liam stirred awake, still amazed at the beauty surrounding him. The night had been quiet, almost peaceful, but he knew that their journey had just begun. Illyra had told him only fragments of her story the night before, and he sensed that there was much more he needed to understand as he rose. Illyra was already awake, moving gracefully along the stream. Her movements were calm, precise, yet there was an energy about her that made Liam realize how unusual and extraordinary she truly was. She looked up and smiled when she saw him. "Good morning, Liam," she said, her voice soft and melodic. "We must leave soon. Staying here too long would draw attention." Liam nodded, packing his small kit carefully. "I understand. But can you tell me more about your people? I want to understand why you were trapped and what makes your society unique." Illyra led him along a narrow path that wound through glowing ferns and crystalline trees. "My people value wisdom, knowledge, and foresight," she began. "But we also have traditions. Some of them are very old, created long before I was born. The chamber where I was held was not meant to harm Medwa, was a test, a safeguard. A person who enters that place must prove their patience and intellect to be trusted fully." Liam frowned thoughtfully. "So it's not really punishment. It's more like a challenge." "Yes," Illyra said, her eyes sparkling. "But it can feel isolating. For someone who doesn't understand the rules, it seems harsh. And that is why outsiders like you are rare. They do not always succeed in understanding. You were clever, patient, and careful. That is why you managed to free me." Liam smiled, feeling a quiet pride. Humanity had always been underestimated by many alien civilizations. People assumed humans were reckless or weak compared to other species. But he had seen the truth. Humans had a unique ability to think creatively and adapt to unexpected situations. Illyra's words confirmed it in a way he had never expected. As they walked, Illyra pointed out various landmarks hidden in the forest. Strange plants with leaves that absorbed light in patterns, streams that glowed faintly with bioluminescent minerals, and animals that moved in harmony with the environment. Liam noted everything in his mind, recording details in his portable scanner. Even without fully understanding, he could sense that this world was far more advanced and subtle, ways than most civilizations he had encountered. After several hours of walking, they reached a plateau overlooking a valley. The view was breathtaking. Towers rose in the distance, connected by bridges that glimmered in sunlight. Cities were nestled among forests and rivers, showing a civilization that had clearly mastered balance with nature. Illyra pointed toward one of the smaller settlements. "That is where we will go next," she said. "I must see my council and explain why I left. And you will see more of our ways. You will learn what it means to be bonded to a princess." Liam's curiosity piqued. "Bonded? What does that mean?" Illyra paused, choosing her words carefully. "In our society, anyone who aids a royal member becomes connected to them. It is not harmful, but it is binding. The bond creates a relationship of trust, responsibility, and cooperation. It is not like your earth bonds it is more like a commitment of mind and purpose. You cannot leave until the bond is acknowledged formally by the council." Liam nodded slowly, trying to absorb the concept. It sounded strange, but he had encountered unusual practices before. The idea of trust and commitment was not foreign to humans, and he could see the logic in it. "So, I might feel restricted until the council decides how to acknowledge this bond?" he asked. "Yes," Illyra said, her expression calm. "But it is not meant to harm you. Instead, it is an opportunity. The bond allows you to learn, contribute, and grow. It ensures that anyone involved in royal affairs is committed fully, not distracted or careless. You will see, in time, the purpose will become clear." The valley below was alive with activity as they descended. People moved gracefully along paths, communicating in soft tones, often using gestures rather than words. Liam noticed that the environment was carefully maintained. With gardens and streams flowing naturally throughout the settlements, machines were present but unobtrusive, seamlessly integrated into the landscape. It was a civilization that combined intelligence, beauty, and harmony in ways humans often struggle to achieve. As they approached the central city, Illyra led Liam to a building unlike any he had seen. It was a tall structure with transparent walls that reflected light like water. The entrance opened as they approached, and inside, the interior was vast and filled with beings of many shapes, all moving with purpose and calm. Illyra's presence commanded respect. Others bowed slightly, and Liam felt the weight of the societal structure immediately. They were greeted by an elder who radiated wisdom and calm. Illyra spoke with him in her language, and Liam listened carefully, catching fragments of meaning through context. The elder turned to Liam, his eyes studying him with curiosity. "You are the human who freed the princess?" he asked in perfect common, a language Liam had learned for interstellar travel. Liam nodded. "Yes, sir, it was. An honor to help her." The elder regarded him thoughtfully. "Your actions show patience and understanding, qualities rare among outsiders. You are bound now, though the formal ceremony has not yet occurred. You will learn our ways, and in time, your purpose will be understood." Liam felt a mix of pride and uncertainty. Being bound sounded restrictive, yet the elder's words suggested that it was also an opportunity, a chance to contribute meaningfully to an alien society. He decided to approach it with the same curiosity and intelligence that had guided him this far. Illyra guided him through the city, explaining customs and practices. He learned that their society valued cooperation above all else. Conflicts were resolved through discussion and problem-solving rather than force. Education and knowledge were highly respected, and even a young member of the society could influence decisions if they demonstrated insight and creativity. Liam felt a sense of admiration for this culture. It was different from anything on Earth, efficient, harmonious, and purposeful. Over the next few days, Liam was given tasks that challenged him intellectually and creatively. He was asked to decode a series of symbols that controlled the city's water distribution system. And though it was complex, his human perspective allowed him to see patterns that had eluded the aliens. He helped design a method to make energy collection more efficient. Using principles he had studied on Earth, each task earned him respect and recognition. Not because he was strong or aggressive, but because he could think differently. Illyra watched quietly as Liam worked. She felt a mixture of admiration and gratitude. Humans, she realized, had a unique capacity for creativity that complemented her society's wisdom. While her people were brilliant in structure and planning, Liam's adaptability and fresh perspective brought solutions they had never considered. She began to understand why her people's tradition of bonding outsiders existed. It ensured that only those who were capable, dedicated, and trustworthy could influence the royal mission. One evening, as they rested in a quiet courtyard filled with flowering plants, Liam asked Illyra more about the bond. "So, the bond isn't meant to limit me. It's meant to guide me?" "Yes," she said, her eyes reflecting the soft glow of the courtyard lights. "It ensures that you are committed to understanding and helping, not distracted by fear or hesitation. It is also a way for our people to learn from outsiders. Your perspective, your creativity, is a gift to us. You will see the reason more clearly soon." Liam felt a sense of calm. The initial shock of being bound had faded, replaced by curiosity and determination. He realized that this journey was not just about helping Illyra, it was about exploring the potential of human intelligence in a world that had never seen it before. The days passed quickly, filled with learning, discovery, and small moments of wonder. Liam marveled at the way Illyra's people communicated without words, how they solved problems collaboratively, and how they maintained balance with their environment. He began to feel a connection not only with Illyra, but with the entire civilization. He understood that humans could contribute in meaningful ways, even to a society vastly different from their own. One morning, Illyra took him to a hill overlooking the city. From there, Liam could see the full scope of her world: forests, rivers, mountains, and cities, all woven together in a seamless harmony. "This is what I wanted you to see," she said softly. "Our world is beautiful, but it has challenges. Some of them are hidden, and some are beyond what we can solve alone. That is why the bond exists for outsiders like you, to help us see solutions we cannot find ourselves. But Liam smiled, understanding dawning. So, you needed me to be here, not just for you, but for your people. Illyra nodded. Exactly. And now that you are here, you will begin to understand your true role. You are not a prisoner, you are a partner. In time, you will see why this journey is so important. As they stood together, watching the sunrise over the valley, Liam felt a deep sense of purpose. He had come to an alien world seeking knowledge and adventure, and he had found much more. Friendship, trust, and the chance to make a real difference. Illyra's people had welcomed him in their unique way, and he knew that the bond he shared with the princess was not a restriction. Days turned into weeks as Liam settled into life in Eliar's world. Each day brought new discoveries, challenges, and insights that deepened his understanding of the alien civilization. He no longer felt like a visitor, he was part of something much larger. A human mind woven into the intricate patterns of Eliar's society. Yet, despite the wonder, could not ignore a quiet curiosity gnawing at him. What exactly was the purpose of his bond, and why had it been so necessary for him to be here? Illyra sensed his thoughts one evening as they walked through the central gardens. The air was fragrant with alien blossoms that shifted colors as the wind passed through them. Soft pools of water reflected the twin suns, creating patterns that seemed almost like living art. You wonder about the bond, Illyra said gently, her voice blending with the soft rustle of leaves. Liam nodded. I understand it in part. It's about trust, commitment, and cooperation. But why me, specifically? Why a human? Illyra smiled faintly. Humans have qualities my people admire, but do not often possess an abundance adaptability. Creativity and the ability to see connections others might miss. You think differently, not just logically, but imaginatively. That is why the bond chose you. Liam considered her words as they walked. He had spent years studying alien cultures, learning their languages and technologies. But here in Illyra's world, his experience felt both limited and invaluable at the same time. He realized that while aliens could excel in structure, memory, and precision, humans had the unique ability to improvise. To approach problems from angles others might never consider, over the next few days, Liam was given increasingly complex tasks. One morning, he was led to a chamber filled with translucent panels, each glowing with strange symbols. This is part of our city's energy network, Illyra explained. It has worked for centuries, but recent shifts in the environment require adjustments. We need someone to analyze patterns we cannot fully interpret. Liam approached the panels carefully. He observed the flow of energy, the way each symbol interacted with others. Slowly, he began to notice patterns that seemed unusual to the alien engineers who had studied the system for years. Using simple logical steps, combined with human intuition, he proposed small changes that could optimize the network. The results were immediate. Energy flowed more smoothly. The efficiency of the system increased. The alien council, who had been observing, murmured among themselves. Liam realized that his contribution had earned him not just approval, but respect. Illyra glanced at him with quiet pride. See, she whispered, the bond allows you to share your perspective. Without it, your insight might never have been considered. It was not just technology that tested him. The council also guided him through social and cultural exercises. He was asked to mediate discussions, help resolve dilemmas, and offer advice on matters that required lateral thinking. Each task emphasized understanding rather than dominance. Through these experiences, Liam grew more attuned to the subtle ways in which Illyra's people communicated how gestures, expressions, and energy flows could convey meaning as clearly as words. Despite the challenges, there were moments of joy and wonder. Illyra took him to hidden places within the forests, secret gardens, and floating lakes. They would sit quietly, observing the creatures and plants, or listen to the wind singing through crystalline trees. Liam learned to recognize patterns in the environment, understanding the delicate balance that sustained life on this planet. Each discovery deepened his respect for the alien civilization and strengthened his bond with Illyra. One afternoon, as they sat by a stream, Illyra began to explain more about her world's history. Our civilization was built on understanding, not conquest, she said. We faced challenges in the past, but we survived because we learned from mistakes rather than repeating them. Knowledge, cooperation, and insight are more powerful than force. That is why your approach is so valuable to us. Liam listened intently. Realizing that this philosophy resonated with his own experiences on Earth, humans often survive by thinking creatively, solving problems that seemed impossible, and cooperating in unexpected ways. Illyria's society valued these same qualities, though expressed differently. He felt a sense of connection, a reminder that, despite differences in appearance, culture, and biology, intelligent beings shared fundamental qualities. As weeks passed, Liam noticed subtle changes in himself. He was more patient, more observant, and more thoughtful in his decisions. The bond with Illyria seemed to influence him as much as he influenced the world around him. He was no longer simply a human exploring an alien planet. He was an integral part of the society, contributing in ways that were recognized and appreciated. Illyria watched these changes with quiet satisfaction. She had seen outsiders before, but few adapted so fully. Liam's curiosity, empathy, and ingenuity allowed him to navigate her world with a balance of respect and confidence. In many ways, he was teaching her people as much as they were teaching him, showing that even a single human mind could make a difference when allowed to work in harmony with others. One evening, the council summoned him. Liam followed Illyria through corridors filled with softly glowing symbols. When they entered the chamber, the council elders were waiting, their expressions calm but attentive. Liam, the eldest, began, "You have demonstrated patience, insight, and creativity beyond what we expected. You have understood our ways, contributed solutions, and honored our traditions. It is time for you to see the purpose of your bond fully." Liam's heart raced. He had suspected that the bond had a deeper reason, but he was eager to understand it completely. "I am ready," he said. The council guided him to a central chamber, where holographic images of the planet's ecosystems appeared. Rivers, forests, cities, and energy networks were displayed in intricate patterns. "Our world faces a challenge that is subtle yet critical," the elder explained. "Recent changes in the environment threaten balance in ways we cannot fully predict. We have studied it extensively, but we cannot see all the connections. That is why an outsider's perspective is necessary. Humans see patterns differently, and your insight is what we need." Liam studied the images, analyzing the flows and interactions. Slowly, a pattern emerged in his mind. He realized that minor adjustments in energy distribution, water management, and resource allocation could prevent future disruptions. His human perspective allowed him to see solutions that, while logical, had been overlooked by the alien engineers. As he presented his ideas, the council listened carefully. They asked questions, proposed alternatives, and together they refined a plan. Illyria stood beside him, supporting and guiding the discussion. But Liam's contributions were recognized as unique and essential. For the first time, he fully understood why he had been bonded to the princess, not as a restriction, but as a way to ensure his dedication and creativity were focused on helping her world. The realization filled him with a sense of purpose. He was not a prisoner or a visitor. He was a partner in a mission of great importance. The bond, which had seemed strange and confining at first, was now a symbol of trust, responsibility, and opportunity. He felt a deep respect for Illyria and her people, knowing that they had chosen a path that valued insight, collaboration, and care over force or coercion. Over the following days, Liam and Illyria worked closely with the council to implement the solutions he had devised. Streams were redirected to optimize water flow, energy networks were adjusted for efficiency, and ecological patterns were carefully monitored. Each change brought visible improvements, and Liam could see the positive effects spreading across the planet. The people of the civilization responded with quiet admiration and gratitude, recognizing that his contributions were meaningful and lasting. Through it all, Liam reflected on his journey. He had come to this world seeking adventure and knowledge, but he had found far more: a purpose, a bond, and the chance to make a real difference. He had been challenged, guided, and inspired, and in return, he had offered his unique perspective and creativity. The bond with Alira was no longer a mystery, yet was a partnership, a connection that allowed two worlds to benefit from one another. One evening, as they watched the sunset from a high terrace, Alira spoke softly. "You see now, don't you?" she said. "The bond was never meant to restrict you. It was meant to guide you, to allow your potential to be realized fully. Without it, we might never have seen the solutions you have provided." Liam smiled, feeling a quiet satisfaction. "I understand. And I am grateful for the trust, the guidance, and the chance to help. I have learned so much from you and your people." Lyra reached out and placed a hand on his shoulder. "And we have learned from you, Liam. Humans have a way of seeing the world that is special. Your presence here has reminded us that wisdom is not only in what we know, but in how we think, adapt, and create." As the stars appeared in the twin suns' twilight, Liam felt a sense of belonging that he had never known. He was no longer just an explorer from a distant world. He was part of a story, a mission, and a civilization that valued him for who he was and what he could contribute. The bond with Alira had revealed a deeper truth, that cooperation, insight, and understanding could achieve more than force or fear ever could. And for the first time, Liam realized that the greatest adventures were not just about Disk. The morning sun painted Alira's world with golden light, sparkling off the crystalline rivers and illuminating the forest canopy below. Liam woke early, as he had grown accustomed to the rhythm of this alien planet. Despite the beauty and harmony of his surroundings, he felt a growing sense of urgency. He had learned much about the culture, the traditions, and the bond that tied him to Alira, but he still did not fully understand the ultimate purpose behind it all. Alira appeared at the edge of the terrace where he was standing. Her luminous eyes reflected both curiosity and calm determination. "Liam," she said softly, "today you will see why the bond exists in its truest sense. Not just as a connection, but as a way to change the path of our civilization." Liam's heart quickened. He had suspected that the bond was important, but Alira's words suggested it was far more crucial than he had imagined. "I am ready," he replied. Adjusting his pack and following her through the winding paths of the city, they entered a chamber Liam had not seen before. The walls were transparent, filled with holographic projections of the planet's ecosystems, cities, and energy networks. Streams flowed across the displays, forests shifted in real time, and human-like figures moved across the holograms, representing population patterns and social activities. Liam was amazed at the complexity and interconnectedness of it all. Alira guided him to a central platform. "Our civilization has been thriving for centuries," she explained. "But recently, subtle imbalances have begun to appear. Water cycles are slightly disrupted, energy networks fluctuate, and certain plants and animals are not responding as they should. These changes are not catastrophic yet, but they could become serious if we do not understand them fully. That is why your perspective is needed." Liam nodded, studying the holographic displays. At first, it seemed overwhelming. Every system was connected to another. Every action had far-reaching consequences. Yet as he observed carefully, patterns began to emerge. He noticed small inconsistencies in the energy flow and subtle shifts in the forests that suggested the root of the imbalance. Using logic combined with intuition, he started to outline possible solutions. The council entered silently, observing him without interruption. They had trusted Alira's judgment in bringing him here. But now they were watching to see if a human mind could truly make a difference. Liam focused on the problem, tracing paths of energy, water, and life throughout the planet. Slowly, he identified a series of minor adjustments that could restore balance without disrupting the harmony of the ecosystems. Alira stood beside him, offering quiet guidance. "These adjustments," she said, "must be implemented with care. Every action affects another system. The bond ensures that your attention and commitment remain focused. You are connected to the mission fully, which is why you are capable of seeing solutions we could not perceive ourselves." Liam realized the depth of her words. The bond was not simply a ceremonial connection, It was a way to ensure his dedication, focus, and clarity. It had given him access to the knowledge, guidance, understanding needed to make choices that could influence an entire world. This was a level of responsibility he had never encountered before, yet he felt ready. For the next several hours, Liam and Illyra worked together, adjusting holographic controls and modeling outcomes. The council watched quietly, occasionally offering suggestions or asking questions. Liam's human creativity became apparent as he proposed subtle changes in energy distribution, water management, and ecological planning. The results were promising. The holographic world responded with stability, showing that the adjustments would indeed restore balance over time. Illyra looked at him with quiet admiration. "You understand why the bond exists now, don't you?" she asked. Liam smiled. "Yes. It's not just about trust or commitment. It's about focus, understanding, and being part of a larger mission. Without it, I might never have been able to see these solutions clearly." The council nodded in approval. "You have surpassed our expectations," the eldest said. "Humans are rare among the stars, and your perspective has proven invaluable. The bond is not a chain, it is a bridge, connecting insight to action, knowledge to purpose." After the session, Illyra led Liam to a quiet terrace overlooking a forested valley. The air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers, and the soft rustle of leaves created a soothing melody. "Liam," she said, "your contributions have already begun to change our world. But there is more to understand. The bond is also about learning from one another. Your creativity has inspired our people to think differently, to consider possibilities they had not imagined. You are helping us grow as a civilization, just as we are helping you grow as an individual." Liam felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He had always believed that humans had potential beyond what many civilizations expected. Here, he saw that potential in action, bridging worlds, ideas, and cultures. "I never imagined my journey would lead to something like this," he said. "I thought I was just helping you, but in truth, I am learning so much from your people as well." Lyra smiled, her gaze reflecting the light of the setting twin suns. "That is the nature of the bond. It is not one-sided. We are connected, and through that connection, both worlds benefit. You have taught us patience, perspective, and ingenuity. We have guided you to understand our ways and the responsibility that comes with them. Together, we are stronger." The following days were filled with collaboration and exploration. Liam worked closely with the council to implement the solutions he had discovered. Streams were redirected subtly to maintain balance. Energy networks were optimized for efficiency. Ecological systems were monitored for long-term stability. Each adjustment, though small, had far-reaching effects. And Liam marveled at how interconnected everything was. He also spent time learning more about Illyra's culture. She taught him about their traditions, art, music, and ways of thinking. He learned that creativity was not limited to humans. Her people expressed it through subtle patterns in energy, environmental design, and communication. Yet, his human approach combining intuition, improvisation, and logical analysis, I've heard something new to their society, and they welcomed it with open minds. One evening, as the twin suns dipped below the horizon, casting the world in soft violet light, Illyra took Liam to a hill overlooking the city. The view was breathtaking. Rivers flowed like liquid light. Forests shimmered with a faint glow, and the city glistened with elegant towers and bridges. "Do you see now?" she asked. "The bond was never about restricting you. It was about enabling you to act, to understand, and to help in ways no outsider could. Without it, you might have left before discovering your purpose." Liam nodded, feeling a profound sense of clarity. He had been challenged, guided, and supported in ways he could never have anticipated. The bond had been a doorway, opening a path for him to contribute fully to Illyra's world. It was a responsibility, yes, but also an opportunity to grow, to learn, to make a lasting difference. Over time, Liam noticed that his presence had a subtle influence on Illyra's people. Engineers and planners began to consider ideas they had not thought of, inspired by his unconventional approaches. Teachers and scholars adapted lessons based on his insights. Even the younger generation seemed more curious, experimenting with new ways of understanding the world. The bond had not only connected him to Illyria, had created ripples of innovation and collaboration across the civilization. One morning, the council called Liam to a special gathering. Illyria stood beside him, her expression calm yet proud. "You have done more than we imagined," the eldest said. "The balance of our world is restored, and your perspective has shown us possibilities we had overlooked. Your bond with the princess has fulfilled its purpose. But there is one final lesson for you to understand. The reason the bond exists is not only to help us. It is also to remind humans and aliens alike that true strength lies in cooperation, understanding, and the sharing of insight." Liam listened carefully, absorbing the wisdom of the words. The bond had been a test, a challenge, and a guide, but now he understood its deeper meaning. It was a bridge between worlds, a symbol of trust, and a channel for mutual growth. He had not been trapped or limited. He had been given a unique opportunity to see beyond boundaries and contribute in ways that mattered. As the sun rose higher, painting the valley in golden light, Liam felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He had come to this world seeking adventure, knowledge, and perhaps friendship. He had found all of that and more: purpose, connection, and the chance to make a lasting impact. The bond had led him to this understanding, revealing that freedom and responsibility could coexist, that creativity and collaboration could change worlds, and that humans had the potential to make a difference even in civilizations far more advanced than their own. Illyria looked at him, her eyes filled with gratitude and admiration. "You see now, Liam," she said softly, "why you were brought here. Not as a servant or a prisoner, but as a partner, a friend, and a guide. The bond was never meant to confine. It was meant to reveal your potential and help our world flourish." Liam smiled, feeling the weight of the realization. For the first time, he fully understood the purpose of his journey and the bond that had seemed mysterious at first. He had not been enslaved. He had been chosen. And now, with CL. The twin suns rose slowly over Illyria's world, casting long beams of golden light across the forested valleys and shimmering rivers. Liam stood on a terrace overlooking the city, feeling a sense of calm and purpose he had never known before. After weeks of learning, exploring, and contributing to the world, he finally understood the full significance of his bond with Illyria. It had not been a restriction, as he had first feared, but a path-guiding force that had led him to his true role. Illyria approached, her eyes reflecting the morning light. "Well, today," she said softly, "we complete the journey you began when you first freed me. You have learned much, and you have helped our world in ways no one else could. But there is one final step before you can fully return to your own life." Liam's curiosity was piqued. "What is it?" he asked. Illyria led him through the city, past gardens that glowed faintly with energy, past schools where young aliens practiced coordination and observation, and finally to a large circular chamber at the heart of the city. The chamber was open to the sky, allowing sunlight to pour in and illuminate the intricate patterns on the floor. The council awaited them, seated in a semicircle, their expressions calm but attentive. "You have done more than we expected," the eldest said. "The bond has revealed your abilities, your creativity, and your dedication. Today you will see the final purpose of your connection, not as a servant or a guest, but as a partner in the future of our world." The council gestured toward a large holographic display in the center of the chamber. It showed the entire planet, its forests, rivers, cities, and energy networks all interlinked. Liam could see subtle imbalances that he had helped correct, and he realized how far-reaching the effects of small adjustments could be. Each change he had suggested, each insight he had contributed, had ripple effects throughout the world. Illyria stepped forward. "Liam, your perspective has shown us solutions we could not see, but there is more to understand. The bond exists not only to guide humans to contribute, but also to ensure that we, the people of this world, learn from you. It is a channel for shared growth. You have taught us patience, adaptability, and the importance of fresh ideas. In return, We have guided you to understand our systems and responsibilities fully." Liam took a deep breath, absorbing the magnitude of her words. He realized that the bond was a bridge, not a cage. It had connected to worlds in understanding, collaboration, and mutual benefit. He had not been enslaved. He had been empowered. The council nodded and began to explain the final task. "There is a future challenge approaching," the eldest said. "Minor shifts in climate patterns, subtle changes in natural cycles, and fluctuations in energy flows could become critical if left unchecked. While your previous adjustments have stabilized the systems for now, the future requires ongoing observation, guidance, and insight. We ask that you remain connected, not physically bound, but intellectually and purposefully as an advisor to our civilization." Liam's heart swelled with pride and humility. He had never imagined that his journey would lead to something so profound, an opportunity to contribute meaningfully to an entire world, not by force or authority, but by thought, observation, and understanding. Alira took his hand gently. "You are not a prisoner, Liam. You are a partner, a friend, and a guide. The bond will remain, but only as a connection of trust, respect, and shared purpose. Together, we can ensure that our world continues to thrive." Liam smiled, feeling the warmth of the moment. He understood now that his bond had a deeper meaning than he could have anticipated. It was about connection, not confinement. Contribution, not control. Partnership, not ownership. The bond had transformed him, and through him, it had transformed their world. The council guided Liam and Alira through a series of ceremonial steps to formalize the bond. It was not a ritual of control, but of acknowledgement. Liam placed his hands lightly on the glowing symbols at the center of the chamber, and Alira mirrored his actions. A soft light enveloped them both, a gentle energy that seemed to harmonize with the world itself. Liam felt a sense of alignment, as if his mind, heart, and purpose were perfectly synchronized with the planet. The light faded, leaving them standing together, connected but free. Liam looked around the chamber and saw the council smiling with approval. He felt a deep sense of belonging, not just to Alira or her people, but to a mission that was larger than himself. For the first time, he fully grasped the potential of humans in the universe, not through strength or conquest, but through understanding, creativity, and empathy. Alira turned to him with a soft smile. "Liam, you have done more than free me. You have helped us see new possibilities, correct imbalances, and understand that our future can be brighter than we imagined. Your bond is a reminder that sometimes the right actions may feel strange or uncomfortable at first. Boo! They can lead to extraordinary outcomes." Liam laughed softly, recalling the day he had first freed Alira from the containment chamber. At the time, he had thought it was a simple rescue, a daring adventure. Now, he realized it had been the beginning of a journey that would change both their lives forever. "I guess I was never really enslaved," he said. "I was chosen." Alira nodded. "Exactly. And now you understand why." The bond was never about limitation. It was about unlocking potential for you and for us. The days that followed, Liam continued to work with the council and Alira, observing and advising on subtle adjustments in the environment. He helped design educational programs that encouraged creative thinking, modeled sustainable energy systems, and proposed innovative ways to maintain harmony between civilization and nature. Every contribution was small in isolation but significant in its impact, showing that humans could create meaningful change through insight and collaboration. Liam also spent time learning more about Alira's people, their art, culture, and philosophies. He discovered that their society thrived not because of advanced technology alone, but because of the care, respect, and curiosity they nurtured in each other. They valued ideas, encouraged learning, and celebrated creativity in all its forms. Liam realized that humanity, too, shared these qualities, and that when combined with the wisdom of another civilization, extraordinary outcomes were possible. One afternoon, as they walked through the forest, Alira spoke quietly. "Liam, you have learned much, and so have we. The bond is complete in purpose, but it is eternal in spirit. It is a reminder that connections between worlds, between beings, and between ideas can create something greater than any individual. Your presence has strengthened our society and shown us the value of perspective. Liam felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He had not only contributed to Aliar's world, but had discovered something profound about himself and humanity. Humans could adapt, create, and inspire, even in places far beyond their home planet. The bond had allowed him to see this potential fully, to apply it in ways that made a lasting difference, as the twin suns set. Casting a warm glow over the valley, Liam and Alira stood side by side, watching the light dance across the landscape. "So this is the reason," Liam said softly, "why I was bonded to you. It wasn't about punishment or control. It was about purpose, growth, and connection." Alira nodded. "Yes, Liam, and now you see that your actions guided by your insight, patience, and creativity have made a difference that will last for generations. The bond has fulfilled its purpose, but our connection, our friendship, and our shared mission will continue." The council gathered one last time to formally acknowledge Liam's contributions. They presented him with a symbol of partnership, a crystalline pendant that glowed softly in his hand. "This represents the bond, not as a chain, but as a link of trust, insight, and mutual growth," the eldest said. "You have shown that even an outsider can help shape the future in profound ways." Liam accepted the pendant with humility and gratitude. He understood that this was not an award or a title, it was a symbol of shared responsibility and opportunity. He had been chosen not to serve, but to participate fully in a mission larger than himself, to help ensure that Alira's world could thrive for generations to come. As he walked through the city one final time, Liam reflected on the journey that had brought him here. He had arrived as a curious human explorer, eager for knowledge and adventure. He had freed a princess, faced unexpected challenges, and learned the value of patience, insight, and collaboration. And now he left as a partner, a friend, and a contributor to a civilization that had welcomed him with trust and respect. Alira stood beside him, her hand brushing lightly against his. "Liam," she said, "thank you. You have not only helped me, but have shown our people what is possible when we open our minds and hearts to others. Humans have a special gift, and you have shared it with us fully." Liam smiled, feeling the warmth of her words and the quiet satisfaction of accomplishment. "Thank you, Alira. I have learned so much from you and your world. I will carry this experience with me always." As the stars appeared in the twin suns' twilight, Liam realized that the greatest adventure was not simply exploring new worlds. It was discovering connections, understanding purpose, and contributing to something greater than oneself. He had been bonded, not enslaved, guided, not confined. And in that bond, he had found his true role, a bridge between worlds. A channel of insight and a reminder that even a single hum